Hey guys, welcome back. Joe Brunsman, insurance broker to the stars. Today, a topic I had never even contemplated until I saw the claim. What we have here is a $5+ million lawsuit for not paying the ransom to the bad guys. Now, of course, there's a little more to the story, so stick around for that. But I think it's really important for two reasons. One, it raises a very profound question that I'll talk about here in a second, and then two, for all those SMBs out there. Yes, class action claims are on the rise. I believe last year it was 45 new data breach class action claims launched every month. So I want to take a look at what are the allegations here so you can start preparing yourself to ideally A, avoid this situation altogether, or B, how do you best position yourself now so that if one of these class action claims does arise against your business, you can better defend yourself. All right, before we begin, we are sponsored. We are big time here. CRD and Aston Lawyers for the Situation. You guys may have seen Danny Aston on here graciously volunteering his time. Also his business partner, Gary Elmer. Both those guys do wonderful work for the SMB community as well as MSPs in particular. So please check those guys out. And of course, Aston Ferraro International Strategic Advisors. Please give them a look after the video. All right, now here is the central question. Assuming that you want to minimize harm to your business, you want to minimize harm to your clients, all right? So this is the ethical framework we need to start grappling with. What ultimately results in more harm? Paying the ransom to avoid disclosure, obviously good for your clients, maybe not the best for the business community at large, or the potential ongoing identity theft suffered by your clients by putting that line in the sand and refusing to pay the ransom, thereby having your client's information leaked out to the world. Because, hey, if that information gets out there, your social security number, that's pretty much forever. And you could suffer identity theft from here until the day you die because of this particular breach. So I think business owners need to start sitting down. They need to start asking themselves this question. Hey, what is that line in the sand? Are we going to be one, I never pay the ransom, I don't care, we're never going to do it? Is it going to be, hey, we will always pay the ransom because we want to avoid additional harm befalling our clients? Or C, is there some middle ground there that you and your business partners need to hash out, right? Is there a pain threshold at which, hey, there's a certain point where we are going to pay the ransom? Now, I would urge you guys, if you have an MSP, please talk to those guys. They're going to add a lot of extra insights that I just don't have time to do here in a quick video that will help guide you to that so that, hey, if this type of situation unfortunately hits your business, you've already made that decision. You've already thought through that. Okay. So, hey, let me know in the chat below, which option are you picking? Are you paying the ransom to avoid? Are you saying, hey, to hell with the bad guys, we're never going to do that, we'll do the breach notification and the credit monitoring? Or is there some threshold in the middle there? All right. Now, these are background allegations. Now, I will add, they're just allegations made by the plaintiff on behalf of the class. So therefore, this is one side of the story. But I still think it's important to dig a little bit deeper here to see, why are they going after the company that got hit, right? Is this just victim blaming? But then two, if you're an SMB, what type of allegations could be brought against your business that you need to start preparing for and trying to avoid? All right, so now foremost, hey, this company, I think it's only about 11 million in revenue. So this is not a large organization. Don't think that, hey, it's got to be $100 million or some arbitrary revenue cap. That doesn't exist anymore. So this is not a large company, really, by, I think, any metric. Now, they're facing the class action claim from their clients. They got hit by Blacksuit, the threat actor. They claimed responsibility. I'll show you a screenshot here in a second. All right, so what are the basics? Well, the plaintiff is alleging that one, the company failed to protect the PII along with a bunch of other stuff. allowing a massive and preventable data breach to occur. Next, the cyber criminals who perpetrated the breach, they stole that and they're going to sell, say, social security numbers, etc., on the dark web. That stuff will be out there forever. Next, and this is a juicy point, the company failed to provide any assurance that it paid a ransom to prevent plaintiffs in the class's data from being released on the dark web. The company offered credit monitoring services to the plaintiff in the class, an offer it need not make if no PII was stolen and at risk of misuse. So you'll see if no PII was stolen, so hey, they didn't do the protection, allegedly, on the front end, and a risk of misuse. So somewhat alluding to, hey, if they would have just paid the ransom, our information wouldn't be out there. So a very interesting quandary for this business. All right, this is actually from Blacksuit. This is from their website. It's a screenshot. So they say, hey, this company is a market leader in providing software solutions to the employer stop-loss marketplace. What kind of data was taken from the network? Business data, so contracts, contacts, planning, presentations, etc. So once again, just because you don't have social security numbers, driver's license numbers, financial account information, etc., you still have something you don't want the bad guys to get and just leak to the world that your competition could find with a quick internet search. All right. Employee data, so passports, contracts, contacts, family details, medical examinations, etc. Financial data, audits, reports, payments, contracts. Other data taken from shares and personal folders, so God knows what's on there. And then they put in top management completely refused to negotiate, thinking that we are bluffing. And then, of course, at the very bottom, very kind of them, business partners and employees, remember, company management does not care about you or your personal information. So they are saying, hey, we got everything in the kitchen sink and we are trying to put the screws to you guys. But management thought we were bluffing, didn't negotiate. So information leaked to the world. Now, the plaintiffs, of course, pull on the heartstrings. You'll see here. Now and for the rest of their lives, plaintiff and the class members will have to deal with the danger of identity thieves possessing and misusing their private information. And it's hard to argue against that, right? Your social security number gets stolen. It's just kind of out there forever, right? Your passport number, I think that you can change that, but also that's not a good idea to have out there. Driver's license number, now you could correlate information. There could be some tax fraud that goes on there. All types of bad things could occur. So what's the meat of the argument that they're making ultimately? They go in and they say in a very long-winded way, they say, hey, this company knew that the risk existed. Now, if you're a company watching this, you know the risk exists. All right. Next, they failed to implement appropriate safeguards to prevent infiltration. Once again, if you're an SMB watching this, I would say you probably know there's something more that you could be doing. You need to start taking a look at that. Next, 1 year of credit monitoring will not protect for a lifetime of identity theft risks. And then they added, and I thought this was important to kind of highlight here, data security breaches have dominated the headlines for the last 2 decades, and it doesn't take an IT industry expert to know it. So once again, they're saying they knew there was a problem. They should have implemented solutions. We wouldn't have been harmed if they did it. Now we're screwed. All right. That is, to me, sounds very difficult to argue against in front of a jury. All right. Then they go on, and this is illustrative for all the SMB ownership out there. They go into saying, hey, what the company should have done. And these are all things that you can go and talk to your MSP about or your IT provider. Follow CISA guidance and cybersecurity advisories. Follow FTC reasonable cybersecurity safeguard practices. Actually, in my latest cybersecurity book, I go through all the most interesting cases there to really kind of flesh out what reasonable cybersecurity actually looks like. Adhere to a cybersecurity framework such as NIST, FedRAMP, CIS, etc. There's a bunch out there. I'm a fan of NIST, but please talk to your MSP. See if there's some type of framework that you're operating on. Next, follow recommendations from the Microsoft Threat Protection Intelligence team. Follow FBI cybersecurity recommendations. Now, all of this really boils down to the following that I am not going to read for you, but you are welcome to pause the video here. Importantly, include IT professionals in security discussions. So please go talk to your MSP if you have any type or volume of PII, PHI, or PCI. You need to really take a hard look about what is the best way to lock that down. All right. So you'll see here, if you'd like to, you can pause the video and read through this. Suffice to say, it is going to be super expensive. You'll see that here in a second for them to do all of this stuff now. So I often tell business owners, hey, there's only two ways you're going to increase your security. It's the easy way or the hard way. So the easy way is you do it on your own time. You plan it out with your MSP. You say, all right, what's my risk assessment? All right, here are the prevalent threats. Given those threats and what we have on our network, in the next 2 months, we're going to implement X. And then 4 months from now, we're going to implement Y. And then 6 months from now, it's Z. And then we're going to reassess in, 10 months, etc. Please start taking just a whack at that if you can, because you don't want someone coming in after the fact and saying, hey, you need to do all of this right now, because it's going to be very expensive. It's going to be very intrusive, could interrupt business operations. So please do it the easy way, not the hard way. All right, moving on here. Causes of action. 1, negligence. So negligence in safeguarding PII and securing it from foreseeable harm. Once again, they're saying, hey, this stuff has been around for like 20 years now. It's been all over the headlines. So no business owner could reasonably go in front of any judge or jury and say, I didn't know that this was a possibility. Next, negligence per se. That's in violating the FTC Act by failing to use the reasonable cybersecurity safeguards and measures. Breach of third-party beneficiary contract. So that's failing to provide adequate data security, harming plaintiff and the class. And then next, unjust enrichment. The company benefited by failing to provide adequate security. So what does that mean? It means, hey, these guys got rich. They didn't want to spend extra money to protect our data. They were unjustly enriching themselves by acting negligently, because instead of paying an extra, $1,000 a month for a litany of tools, they pocket that information, and now we have to deal with the consequences of that. And then what's the relief that they're looking for? Court orders that the company's security doesn't meet necessary security measures. Next, ordering of third-party audits, penetration testing, employee training, and secure data deletion practices, amongst a litany of other things that they want to add in there. So effectively, the court mandating to this company, thou shalt now have essentially every cybersecurity control under the sun, which is not going to be fun or particularly cheap. All right, so moving forward, once again, you can increase your security the easy way, or you can increase your security the hard way. For all my cyber insurance clients out there, I often tell them, hey, a good year for you is when I call you once and I take your money. A bad year for you is when we're talking twice. Because if we're talking twice, that means you're having a really bad day and it's about to be a terrible week and a really awful month and probably a very stressful year for you. So please just start getting a hold of this cybersecurity problem. We are losing that battle. There are many cost-effective, easy things you can implement that would really increase your security in a material way. All right, next, how much cyber insurance does this company actually have left? I don't know, because if they're asking for at least $5 million, probably plus attorney's fees and all this other stuff, that's a lot of insurance. So, I've got companies a lot larger than that have lower cybersecurity limits, cyber insurance limits. So this is going to make me want to go back and talk to those folks and think about increasing their limits going through this video. But there could be a whole bunch of uninsurable losses here and that may be coming out of the ownership's pocket. All right. So you don't want to be in that particular situation. Next, the game is evolving. The risks are increasing. Please do not get left behind. The easiest thing you can do, if you don't have an MSP, find one. If you already have an MSP, hey man, those are the subject matter experts you pay to help solve these problems for you. So find the one you trust, go out to those guys and say, all right, where am I? Where do I need to be? How do I fill that gap? Let's put together just a plan of implementation. Let's at least start chipping away at the problem. All right. So at the very least, let's say you do get hit, you want to have something to show that would effectively say, yeah, we knew there was a problem. We were getting after it. We just got hit in the interim, right? We weren't being irresponsible, but we're a company with limited budget. We're not like the government that just prints money out of thin air. And so because of that, it's just kind of part of daily life. Hopefully that can help you fight back and defend against these types of claims. And then once again, just put in chat, what causes less harm? Paying the ransom or refusing to pay the ransom and providing the credit monitoring. All right, guys, with that, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Right above you is another video that the YouTube algorithm will recommend to you. And if you click over there on my face, you can subscribe to my channel and get wonderful videos like this sent to you all the time. All right, guys, with that, stay safe.